Let's start with the Indian currency first, and it is closed the day nearly 1% on the higher side. 1 week highs touching 62.41 on the closing basis. The low dollar demand and rally in the domestic equity market has aided the currency. The experts believe that the weakness in dollar demand globally has helped the rupee appreciate in the recent weeks. Let's listen into their views on the currency going forward.
The rupee has appreciated in the last 3 trading sessions. It's primarily due to the fact that there was a kind of clarifications from the RBI governor saying that a lot of the oil demand is already in the market, and that was the cause of the slight amount of weakness that we saw. Subsequently, there has been dollar weakness overseas, and also we are seeing some significant inflows into the country today, probably in the form of FDI. That's what we can tell you anecdotally from the market. So all in all, I think the demand-supply mismatch is not really massive.
Well, we do see some further moderate weakness over the mid to long term for the rupee, but our forecasts at the moment don't suggest that it will end up as weak as it was at the worst point this summer. So it's more a case of gradual weakening from here.
Well, that's the view coming in from our experts. Let's also get on board then Vijay Bambani, who's author, CEO, PSPLindia.com. Also joining us is Vikram Murarka, who's Chief Currency Strategist at Kshitij Consultancy. Vikram, hi to you first. And what's your sense on the kind of gains that we have seen on the rupee? 1% up. Of course, the fundamentals have been positive, but do you see it sustaining, and do you see more gains coming in?
Hi, Manisha. We see the rupee getting into a sideways range actually between 61.80 or 62.20 or 61.80 on the downside, and maybe around 63.5, 64 on the upside. So we have a pretty wide range, and I'll tell you the reasons for that. One is that the rupee is showing a very high correlation with the euro, close to 83% correlation, and the euro could get into a sideways range. That's one thing that we're looking at. And the other thing is that although the equity markets have really rallied substantially, and they could get into a multi-year up move, but we would not want to preempt such a break, and we just need confirmation from the Dow in terms of a break above 16,100 or 16,600. Till then, we're not willing to make a directional call on the rupee.
Vijay, what's your sense coming in on the charts, though, with more than 1% of a move coming in, the week starting like that? Are you looking at further gains? And would you say that perhaps breach of 62 also not ruled out with the kind of fundamentals we have?
Manisha, I've been talking about the rupee appreciation being somewhat limited, and today's rally in excess of 1% is basically something I was not expecting. So expecting the rupee to appreciate past the 62 levels in the cash segment, quite likely. And in the futures segment, I think the 62 level is something that I would watch out very, very keenly, because if the rupee was to appreciate past the 62 level in the future space, which trades at a premium to the cash market, I think the rupee bulls are likely to dominate the dollar bulls for a brief period of time. And I would underscore the brief period of time rather than feel that there is a sizable appreciation in the offing in the rupee, because as we head towards the end of the calendar year, historically and empirically, evidence suggests that it's the US dollar that comes back into demand as books get balanced. So my guess is somewhat of a percent and a half appreciation more in the rupee, and it's time to start looking at the dollar longs again.
Well, clearly it has been a day when we have seen steady dollar coming in because of what Yellen really has said in the previous week, and possibility that most Fed officials might just echo that. Vikram, what's your sense coming in from the global cues now? Because we've seen a very steady euro, a very flat dollar. But are you looking at gains with the kind of scenario we have seen building up in the global markets?
Now, as I said, Manisha, I see the euro actually moving sideways. If we look at the CFTC data, the euro is, the longs are dominating, which means that the euro can actually start coming off. And if we look at the yield spreads between German and US yield spreads, those are still in favor of the dollar rather than the euro. So yes, given whatever Yellen has said, the US 10-year has come down a bit. But if you look at the whole US yield curve in its entirety, the 5-year, the 10-year and the 30-year, the 30-year is not looking like it's coming down actually, and we're seeing the whole curve actually steepen. So as I said, and then, okay, let's look at this in terms of the US unemployment data, and that's coming off, and maybe we'll get to the 6.8 target region in another couple of months. So if that happens, and with inflation close to around 1.7% on the CPI, the taper is going to be happening definitely, maybe, I mean, as much as I can say definite, by March. So given all this, maybe one would not want to short the dollar and buy the euro or buy the rupee immediately.